Happy Friday, everyone. It is finally Friday. I know all you parents out there who had kids starting back to school this week feel the way I do, and you are so glad that we get a weekend break after only 2 days. Those 2 days are always the most hectic with getting all the fees paid, backpacks packed, lunch menus, school supplies, more fees, and then more fees, and then technology fees, classroom fees, t-shirts, class shirts, and then the other fees. But my kids enjoyed their first day yesterday. They were happy to be back and see their friends. Routine is always a good thing at my house, so I'm not going to complain too much. I have 5 healthy, beautiful babies that are growing up way too fast on me. Of course, we're going to start the show as we do every day, reading from our Live in Liberty daily journal, where we are able to take a bite sized dose of liberty and a quote from one of our founding fathers, those who made America great and whose principles can continue to make America great or make America great again, if you will. Something I think is so important. You can find this book at liveinlibertydaily.com. And this is the quote for today, written by my very favorite, Thomas Paine. This comes from The Crisis 3 in the Progress of Politics, Philadelphia, April 19th, 1777. He said this: "The freedom of trade, likewise, is to a trading country an article of such importance that the principal source of wealth depends upon it. And it is impossible that any country can flourish, as it otherwise might do, whose commerce is engrossed, cramped, and fettered by the laws and mandates of another." You know, this quote makes me think of the CON laws that we've been trying to repeal at the Mississippi legislature for several years. We know the free market, the trade market, it works. So why we tend to want to defer from that is beyond me, completely and totally beyond me. Of course, there are lots of new updates in the Nolan Wells case. The first arrest has been made, not an arrest of one of Nolan's friends for his death, but instead it's a California man for making threats against Judge Ashley Cole over in open Ocean Springs. I'm telling you guys, there are a group of attorneys out there who are very, very serious about coming after those making threats and false allegations concerning Nolan Wells. The strife and the chaos, the division, the divide that you guys out there spewing your disinformation have caused in the community of Ocean Springs has not gone unnoticed. And there will be people seeking justice for that. So I would be very, very careful what you say. Kingfish is going to call in. We're going to chat about Carlos Moore. I know that's one of his favorite topics. And he had a recent article about that on his blog. But I did post something this morning and I got a lot of feedback on it pretty quickly. The Mississippi legislature has changed the attendance policy in our schools this year. I got to stay in my lane and talk something about schools. And it's pretty tough. You can't miss more than 5 days a semester, and I think it's after 3 days you have to have a medical excuse, and even with a medical excuse, it's still going to count as unexcused, and if you miss over 5 days in a semester, you are going to be referred to the truancy courts, and my question is this: is Mississippi gonna pay to hire more youth court judges who are going to be overseeing truancy court? Are we gonna staff these judges in these courtrooms, because I'm here to tell you, you're going to see the docket overflowing with truancy cases and a whole lot of upset mamas and daddies because things happen. Things happen. And I don't at all fault parents for taking kids out of school to go on trips, or maybe there is an exciting event. I'm planning on taking my older two girls out of school. We've already got a day set where I'm taking them over to our Attorney General, Lynn Fitch's Women's Summit, so that they can hear Riley Gaines speak. I think Riley Gaines is a role model for young girls in this country today. And to me, that's educational. And I think that experience will benefit them more than anything they're going to talk about in their classroom that day. And guess what? I'm their mama. I'm their mama. I'm the parent, and I get to make that decision. And I dare anybody to challenge me on it. We'll take it to the Supreme Court. I'm not scared. It is the fundamental right of the parent to direct the upbringing of their children as they see fit, not the government. I don't know if that's a secret or not, but I'm here to let you in on the secret, parents. Government didn't give you your rights. Our Creator did. God did. Therefore, government can't take them. They can try. They won't succeed. They will not succeed. And there are plenty of organizations that will back me up on that. I feel quite confident in saying that. You already know here at the Lindsey Beckham Show, we are here to protect children, empower parents, and speak truth. Always. Always. That is our number one job. And then, of course, the organization I work with, Moms for Liberty, we're dedicated to fighting for the survival of America by unifying, educating, and empowering parents to defend their parental rights at all levels of government. So if you see me in truancy court, trust me, I will be defending my parental rights at that most local level of government. And I'm happy to do so. I imagine there will be quite a few people filling up the truancy courts in the upcoming school year. Creston Bourbon Diplomacy in the comments said, did we forget the what next when it comes to truancy court and kids miss school? You know, I'm telling you, Creston, they're going to have so many upset mamas and daddies. I think that they'll be rethinking this new law before the end of the first semester even. Not only that, but it didn't seem to matter back during that pandemic. You know, the one that our Dr. Fauci pled the fifth on over 111 times. Kingfish is trying to call in. For some reason, it's telling me line one's not working. Let's see. Kingfish, if you can hear me, try back. Something's wrong with our line one here at the station, and it automatically goes to that line for some reason. So I may have to take a break and call you and then come to you after that. We'll do that. Let's go ahead and take a break. Kingfish is going to talk to us about Carlos Moore, what he thinks about the latest in the Nolan Wells case. If you don't know Kingfish, I'm sure you've read something he's written over at Jackson Jambalaya. Go check him out. So we'll be right back after this break. This is WYAB. This is the Lindsey Beckham Show, 103.9, and we'll be right back.
Keep it tuned here to 103.9 WYAB.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Hot weather requires us to run the AC nonstop. Pure Air Consultants can inspect your unit today to ensure your AC is operating at peak performance. Pure Air Consultants is your go-to Rheem partner that can get the job done and have you resting in comfort in no time. Locally owned and operated, they have proudly served our community for over 22 years. Contact Pure Air Consultants today at mypureairconsultants.com. Rheem and Pure Air Consultants to the rescue.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit americansforprosperity.org. Be a part of positive change at americansforprosperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
Delicious food and a relaxing atmosphere combine to make the best place for sports fans and foodie fans to watch the game and just hang out. Capitol Grill of Jackson. Of course they've got the games, but food, oh my goodness. Mouth-watering po' boys, fish, steaks, appetizers, and a specialty pizza menu. Kitchen opens at 5 Monday through Thursday and 11 Friday through Sunday. And happy hours are daily at Capitol Grill. Also enjoy the all-new Tuesday night and karaoke on Wednesday and Friday nights from 8 till midnight with DJ Money Mod. Capitol Grill, DeVille Plaza in Jackson.
If you want the best health care, where do you go? The Mayo Clinic. If you want the best care for your vehicle, where do you go? Mayo Auto Clinic in Raymond. Mayo Auto Clinic does foreign and domestic vehicles and diesel repair. Mayo Auto Clinic has ASE certified techs with over 25 years of experience. You can extend the life of your car or truck when you take it to Mayo Auto Clinic. For cost-effective repairs and maintenance, go to the best Mayo Auto Clinic. Open weekdays at 7 a.m. Highway 18 in Raymond.
Need to ship something fast, print something now, or wrap the perfect gift? Head to the Mailroom Gluckstadt, your one-stop shop for all major shipping carriers. We pack and ship with care, offer private mailbox rentals, copy services, create and print banners, print your photos, lamination, binding, and secure document shredding. We always have a notary available, and we do gift wrapping too. Head to the Mailroom Gluckstadt across from Callaway's or online at mailroomgluckstadt.com. Stop in today and get it all done in one place.
When Second's making a play, Short's got it covered.
A winning insurance strategy doesn't rely on one person.
Good hustle, good hustle.
Communicate with your guys and make sure everyone's in the right coverage.
It takes a team that knows its roles well, working together to provide an exceptional experience.
Set the screen. You have to protect yourself. 1, 2, 3, Wildcats!
At Shelter Insurance, you can count on our local agents and award-winning customer service to help you protect what matters most.
Come see me, Jamie Creel, at Shelter Insurance and see why Forbes has rated us #1 in the world.
Hi, this is Allen Allen, nurse practitioner at the MEA Medical Clinic in Flora, Mississippi. Located in the Cotton Exchange Plaza, we are here to provide patient-centered care that is thorough, compassionate, and convenient. Whether you need primary care services or same-day medical care when you aren't feeling your best, we're here to support your health.
MEA Medical Clinics.
Welcome back into the Lindsey Beckham Show. Let's see here. I believe we have Kingfish on the line. You there? Kingfish? Okay, maybe we don't have him on the line. I don't know what is going on today with our phone lines. I have no idea. Well, we will try that again. Anyway, there has been an arrest. The first arrest has been made in the Nolan Wells case. I don't know if all of you saw the messages that Judge Ashley Cole, who is the parent, the stepmother of one of the boys with Nolan out on the boat the 4th of July. And she posted some of the messages and threats that she had received. One talking about sending explosives to her home. I guess you would call it a bomb threat. Hold on one second, guys. I'm going to text. I don't know. I'm going to text Clayton, see if there's an alternate number for line 2, because I don't know what's going on with our phone lines. That's crazy. I've never had him do that. I called him during the break, put him on hold, and then was going to come to him when we got back. But when I picked up the phone on air, there was, it sounded like there was somebody there, but he wasn't there. Sorry, I know this is riveting radio. But yeah, so I'm telling you, there are people who are dead serious about these threats that anyone involved in this situation have been getting, because there's no evidence to back up that any foul play has happened. No evidence of that whatsoever. I did read that the medical examiner, they have finished the autopsy, finished their part of this investigation that has been turned over to law enforcement. Of course, that will not be released to the public. I imagine that will not be released to the public until after the next grand jury. Of course, that could be, it depends on what area of the state that you live in. Some are held quarterly. Some areas, I guess, if they have more cases, they have multiple grand juries or more grand juries than other areas of the state. So we'll just have to wait and see when this actually gets presented to a grand jury. But right now, at this given time, I don't even know who a grand jury would attempt to indict, because there is no evidence that we know of, at least, of any foul play. Now, there have been statements released by attorney Russ Latino, who is representing the Edmiston family. They have retained him as counsel for the false information, the disinformation being spread all across social media, attempting to make it look as though they were involved somehow. And then TMZ this morning had this, or it may have been yesterday afternoon after I was already off air. It was actually a California man arrested in these threats. So not even someone from Ocean Springs, not even someone from the state of Mississippi. I mean, are we at all surprised it's California? Let's be real here. Are we at all surprised that this is California? TMZ released this, yes, early this morning, 6:41 a.m. A California man was arrested for allegedly sending death threats to the stepmom of one of Nolan Wells' friends. The woman is a sitting judge in Mississippi, and now we have a visual of the hateful messages. And, you know, I talked about Ashley Cole the other day, how it must feel to be in her position, to be an elected official in her community. And by all accounts, from everyone I've talked to, a very much respected elected official in her community. I know several, I know quite a good many people from the area, Ocean Springs, from the Gulf Coast area. And everyone I've talked to has had nothing but positive things to say about Ashley. Now, a sitting judge with a stepson who happens to have a black friend. I mean, at face value, you don't think anything of that. But I bet families will be thinking about that from here on out, because her stepson goes out on their boat with his friends for the 4th of July. And look, y'all know me. I'm going to be celebrating the 250th anniversary of America, as you can see, all year long. And who are we kidding? I'll be celebrating America next year just as much, all 365 days. I'll be celebrating the 51st birthday of America, anniversary of America. But her stepson goes out on their boat with some friends for the 4th of July. One decides to stay back with a girl, and all of a sudden, she is national news and getting death threats. People are threatening the life of not only her stepson, but her other children, her entire family. It's insane. It's insane. What is wrong with some of you people? You're so convinced and you're so desperate that this just had to be a hate crime with racial undertones that you are going to risk your freedom in an effort to scare someone that you think might have something to do with it? That's disgusting. I mean, this says new legal docs obtained by TMZ show the DMs that Joseph Alfredo Vasquez Dummers allegedly sent Jackson County Chancery Judge Ashley Cole, alluding to a package with an explosive device inside. He also references Cole's family. Her stepson is Warren Hudson, a friend of Nolan's, who went on a popular podcast to push back on allegations Nolan's friends had something to do with his death. Of course, that's the Officer Tatum podcast. You can find that on YouTube and watch the entire interview. As we reported, police say he sent the threats over Facebook, and they tracked him down by tracing email IP addresses associated with his Yay 962 social media account and cross-referencing a date of birth, phone number, and street address tied to it. He was arrested and charged with interstate transmission of a threatening communication, a federal crime carrying a maximum sentence of 5 years in prison. As we've told you, Nolan's friends and their families have been receiving hateful messages ever since his death, with many theorizing the group he hung out with on the 4th of July had something to do with it. Warren has denied any involvement in Nolan's death, and his dad, Dr. Benjamin Hudson, told TMZ he is now offering a $50,000 reward for any information regarding Nolan's death. So the dad here is so certain and so confident that his son had no involvement whatsoever in the death of Nolan Wells that he now himself has put up a $50,000 reward for anyone who can give any information about what led to the death of Nolan Wells. Doesn't sound like someone who is guilty to me. And my heart just bleeds for this mom. Because she had nothing to do with any of this. And now she's scared for her life, the lives of her children. Now she has been thrust into national news streams. And there's not even, as far as the public knows at this point, any evidence of foul play whatsoever. And it's people like you, Johanna, whatever your YouTube profile name is, she says, you know what's up to, you're a part of the problem. There has been plenty of evidence that shows these young men killed Nolan Wells. Oh, really? Really? Where? I haven't seen it, and I have followed this case quite closely as I have been talking about it here on the show for the good part of 2 weeks now. Thank you, Creston. Creston from Bourbon Diplomacy. If you tune into the Clay Edwards Show, he's been sitting in co-hosting with Clay. He says the grand jury will establish if a crime has been committed. So, I mean, even if they can establish that a crime has been committed, where do you go from there if you don't have any suspects? as far as I know, from what I have been told from sources, there have been over 70 individuals who've been questioned by law enforcement. From what I understand, all the friends have cooperated fully. One thing Officer Tatum alleged in his Substack that he put out this week, and also one of the videos that he did this week. Caller, I'll try to answer. Our phone lines are some reason not working. I'll try. Yeah, I'm sorry, callers. I'm just not going to be able to take calls today. I don't know what's going on, but not working. Can't hear. I don't know if you can hear me when I pick up, but I cannot hear you, and you're not coming across on the radio. So we'll have to look into that. And now, of course, I've lost my train of thought there. I believe every one of his friends have been fully cooperating with law enforcement. So if you can establish that a crime has been committed, I'm not quite sure what you even do with that. And okay, now I know where I was. Officer Tatum alluded to sources telling him that, and I've had sources tell me this. I know Clay's had sources tell him this as well, that when the toxicology report comes back, that you may find some illegal substances in Nolan's system. Now, I cannot confirm that in any way, shape, or form. I was not there. I did not see anything. But one thing I said the other day, and I know Clay has alluded to this as well, if that is the case, if that does come to be, we're going to automatically have pushback and people saying, well, he must have been drugged. Those white boys must have drugged him, right? And then I'll be danged. I open up my social media feed today, and that's one of the first things I saw this morning when I woke up was content creators putting out that narrative. Was Nolan Wells drugged? Why does it always have to go to that? Why do you want it so badly to be nefarious? As a mom, as a parent, I would much rather, I hope I never have to live through that scenario, but I would much rather something have happened without foul play than to know that someone hurt my child and that he was feeling hate in the last moments of his life. I don't understand it. I cannot wrap my head around why people want this so bad to be a hate crime. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I would love for someone to explain that to me. Why did the family automatically retain a civil rights lawyer? Not only that, but a civil law, a lawyer that represents someone in a civil matter, not criminal. Why wouldn't you retain a criminal attorney if your first thought was there's foul play involved? Why automatically go to a civil rights attorney who's known to cause division, who's known to race bait the way that we know Benjamin Crump does? Why is that your first move? I don't get it. Make it make sense. Make it make sense, people, because I can't. I mean, I consider myself to be fairly intelligent here, but I can't understand this. It makes no sense to me why any parent would want that for their child. Mark says because they desperately want a race war to pop off. Well, they've succeeded. That's what they've done. They're attempting to destroy a community that is very diverse. A strong community that loves each other. It's it blows my mind. It absolutely is mind-boggling to me. I would never, ever hope or pray or wish or want that for my child. I would not automatically jump to this had to be race related. I wouldn't automatically jump to something nefarious happened here. Now, I would absolutely tell you what I would do. I would absolutely look for answers to all the questions that I have. And you know where I'd start? I'd start by talking to all the boys that were there that day. I would start by talking to their parents. I can promise you that. That would be the first thing I do. I wouldn't hop on a plane to attend the NAACP conference. I wouldn't be scheduling interviews with CNN. I wouldn't be talking to TMZ or whoever. I would be talking to the ones I knew my child was with that day. I would be talking to their parents. I would be attempting to gain all the information possible from those who may have it. That's what I would do. So I don't understand. I don't understand at all the actions this family has taken. Crazy world we live in these days. We got to take a break. Y'all stay with us. We're going to be right back here. This is the Lindsey Beckham Show, WYAB 1039.
Keep it tuned here to 1039 WYAB.
When it comes to protecting all the things that matter in your world, generations of folks in central Mississippi have trusted Allstate agent Mark Dwyron. Mark knows the right coverage with the right price, helps you feel secure and protected. For decades, Mark's been a trusted agent protecting you against mayhem that is unpredictable. And he's always just a moment away when you need him. Mark Dwyron. For auto, home, life, and more, you're in good hands with Allstate. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Hot weather requires us to run the AC nonstop. Pure Air Consultants can inspect your unit today to ensure your AC is operating at peak performance. Pure Air Consultants is your go-to Rheem partner that can get the job done and have you resting in comfort in no time. Locally owned and operated, they have proudly served our community for over 22 years. Contact Pure Air Consultants today at mypureairconsultants.com. Rheem and Pure Air Consultants to the rescue.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson. President Trump at a cabinet meeting at Camp David in the past hours, taking credit for what he calls a deal with Israel and Hamas.
Nobody thought that would be possible, to disarm Hamas. That shows you how much success we're having with Iran.
Hamas says it will disarm only later if a Palestinian state is created, something Israel adamantly rejects. On Iran's military, Trump repeated it's been, his word, obliterated.
They've got some left. But soon they won't have some left.
Spain's government and local officials say about 60,000 migrants crossed the border, entering a Spanish region from Morocco in the past 24 hours. Local officials say about 48,000 have gone back voluntarily. FBI investigating a suspected Iranian cyber attack on Minnesota water systems. Officials saying hackers knocked offline dozens of water systems. Shortages caused by the Iran war led to American oil and gas companies reporting massive spring profits. This is ABC News.
Acme Pizza and Daiquiris is leveling up. A whole new Acme Pizza and Daiquiris is now open at the Reservoir at Beethoven's Boardwalk in Ridgeland, right next door to Cock of the Walk. And the new Acme Pizza and Daiquiris will have all of your old favorites too, like the Acme Dynamite Balls and Garlic Knots, and the best specialty pizzas ever, like the Pig, the Sergeant Pepperoni, the Surf and Turf, and lots more. Come to the all-new Acme Pizza and Daiquiris location on the Res in Ridgeland, next door to Cock of the Walk.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Hot weather requires us to run the AC nonstop. Pure Air Consultants can inspect your unit today to ensure your AC is operating at peak performance. Pure Air Consultants is your go-to Rheem partner that can get the job done and have you resting in comfort in no time. Locally owned and operated, they have proudly served our community for over 22 years. Contact Pure Air Consultants today at mypureairconsultants.com. Rheem and Pure Air Consultants to the rescue.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit americansforprosperity.org. Be a part of positive change at americansforprosperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
You wake up tired. You drag through the day. The drive's gone. The focus is gone. And somewhere along the way, you stopped feeling like yourself. At Live Better Men's Health and Wellness in Gluckstadt, they help men take control again with personalized testosterone therapy, wellness treatments, and real answers. Fast lab work, real medical professionals, no judgment. Stop settling for fine. Start living better. Live Better Men's Health. Online at livebettermen.com.
Your roof is constantly exposed to the elements, battling dirt, algae, and stains. But with Watkins Construction and Roofing Roof Wash Service, you can keep it looking like new. A proprietary rooficide treatment is EPA approved, safe, and guaranteed to prevent algae from coming back for at least 2 years. No harsh chemicals, no damage, no black streaks. Just a clean, beautiful roof that lasts. Call Watkins Construction and Roofing at 601-966-8233 or visit nomoreroofstains.com today.
Welcome back into the WYAB studios. I would say I'd love to hear from you and that you can call in, but can't do that today. You can text in the Lindsey Beckham Show text line. That number 601-879-4648. And we're going to go to the text line to some of your texts in just a moment. I'm going to read a few of the messages we've gotten in the live stream here. At Will U924K says, well, he sent an emoji of dollar bills, money. I tend to agree with you. Unfortunately, it's sad to say that. And I've tried not to say that. I've really, really tried to show grace to this family because I can't imagine losing a child. I've said that every day this week, but it looks more and more like you're correct. Now, Creston did send us this. A DA may present an unnatural death case to a grand jury, even without an identified suspect, primarily to use the grand jury's investigative powers and to determine whether a crime occurred. Deciding whether a crime was committed, the grand jury reviews the evidence to decide if the death resulted from criminal conduct, which would be a homicide, rather than accident, suicide, or of natural causes. It can return an indictment if probable cause exists, decline to charge anyone, which no true bill, or in some places issue a report or findings. So that is what the grand jury will do whenever this does get presented to them. On the Lindsey Beckham Show text line, unknown texter says money. Crump makes money and a name for himself. That's exactly what he does. He shows up in these situations and then he disappears as quickly as he came. Anybody remember Sinatobia? Justice for Baby Cohen? No apologies. Just disappeared. Doesn't speak of it anymore. This texter says it's the same with the greed and fraud with our Congress and government agencies going all the way down to local governments. Unfortunately, I tend to agree with you as well. Seems to be that way, no doubt. We'll text into our text line. He said, like Sheriff Buford T. Justice said in Smokey and the Bandit, what the hell is the world coming to? Okay, I did want to talk about this this news from Yazoo City yesterday. If you didn't know, those are my stomping grounds, born and raised. Right there behind the Texaco. Can't miss it. A 3-stoplight town. Everybody knows where the Texaco is. Some people even call it Mayfield's. The owner's last name was Mayfield. And so some people even still refer to it as Mayfield's. But the new mayor over in Yazoo, and my goodness, have they had a time over there with police chiefs and mayors. And when I graduated back in 2003, showing my age here, I graduated from Manchester Academy with 46 students. My senior class had 46 students. I think Manchester's senior classes these days are down in the teens. A lot of people have moved away. And that's what you do. When crime takes over a city, you get out. Call it what you want. You get away if you want to raise your kids in a safe place. I didn't go too far. I'm only about 45 minutes down the road, but it's scary. It's my mom, my grandmother are still there. It's scary what's happening in Yazoo City today. I don't know if this is the answer, but this came from the office of the mayor yesterday. It was an emergency declaration and temporary citywide curfew. He said this: as mayor of the city of Yazoo City, I'm declaring a local state of emergency due to the ongoing incidents of gun violence, multiple credible threats, and the immediate risk these events pose to the safety of our residents and visitors. The protection of human life and the preservation of public safety are the highest priorities of this administration. Based on the current circumstances and in coordination with law enforcement, immediate action is necessary to reduce the potential for additional violence and to provide officers with the ability to respond effectively to criminal activity. Effective 11 p.m. tonight, this was yesterday, a citywide curfew will be in effect from 11 p.m. until 6 a.m. each day and will remain in force until 6 a.m. Monday. During the hours of the curfew, all residents are directed to remain indoors unless they are traveling to or from work, seeking emergency medical care, responding to an emergency, or engaged in other essential activities permitted by law. Individuals found in violation of the curfew may be stopped by law enforcement and subject to enforcement action as authorized by law. This temporary emergency measure is being implemented solely to protect the public, prevent further acts of violence, and allow law enforcement to carry out their duties safely and effectively. Additional officers will be deployed throughout the city, and law enforcement agencies will continue working together to identify and apprehend those responsible for recent criminal activity and any individuals who threaten the safety of our community. I ask every resident to cooperate fully with this emergency order. Parents and guardians are strongly encouraged to ensure that minors are home during curfew hours. The cooperation of our community is essential as we work to restore order and protect every neighborhood. The city of Yazoo City will continue to monitor conditions closely. Further updates will be provided as circumstances change. Our goal is to lift this emergency declaration as soon as it is safe to do so. Now, that seems like a bit of overkill. I struggle here because I see both sides. There is a problem. Violence is rampant. It's out of control. Something needs to be done. But are we violating the public's constitutional rights? Again, rights given to us by our Creator, not by government, in doing so. My first thought yesterday when I saw this was, well, what if something happens to me? What if something happens to one of my kids? The only family I have are my mom and my grandmother, and then an aunt. My aunt's in Rankin County, and my mom, my grandmother are in Yazoo City, and my mom would be who I would call. Would she be stopped and searched or arrested for violating this order if she needed to, at some point in the middle of the night, come to my house for an emergency with me or one of my children? And that seems a little crazy. Of course, it did say in the letter, other than in emergency situations or to and from work. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. Are we not enforcing laws on the front end to the point where things have gotten so far out of control that you feel you need to put a curfew in place? It's sad. It's really sad to see the community you grew up in be taken over by crime and violence. Very, very scary situation there. And I know so many that lived and grew up in Jackson, South Jackson, that area, feel the same way about what they knew growing up, where they lived. There's got to be hearts that change, in my opinion, in situations like this. This country needs Jesus to make it great again, if you want my honest opinion. Culture is a big problem. Clay likes to call it culture rot, and I mean, I tend to agree with him. It's gotten so out of control. It's gotten so bad in certain communities, Yazoo City being one of them. It's not safe anymore. But then I also tend to think that the people responsible for the crime and the violence are going to be the exact ones who won't abide by this anyway. I guess that's the point. Maybe at least if you see them out, it gives you a reason to stop them, question them, and then arrest them if needed. I know I'm torn on this one. Tell me what you think on the text line and in the comments. We got to take our last break. Y'all stay with us. We'll be right back here on the Lindsey Beckham Show to wrap things up for this week. 103.9 WYAB.
.1039 WYAB.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit americansforprosperity.org. Be a part of positive change at americansforprosperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
When it comes to protecting all the things that matter in your world, generations of folks in central Mississippi have trusted Allstate agent Mark Dwyron. Mark knows the right coverage with the right price, helps you feel secure and protected. For decades, Mark's been a trusted agent protecting you against mayhem that is unpredictable. And he's always just a moment away when you need him. Mark Dwyron. For auto, home, life, and more, you're in good hands with Allstate. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability.
Hey, Flora, the farm store in Flora. Fresh from the farm right here. The farm store in Flora. Organic, local, clear. Locally sourced meats and vegetables too. Fresh produce every day, picked just for you. The farm store in Flora. Fresh from the farm right here. The farm store in Flora. Come see what's fresh today.
Hello, I'm Gary Jolly from the Tractor Store. LS Tractor understands your passion for the land, and just like you, LS Tractor is committed to excellence and superior products. LS Tractor comes with a long list of standard features that are unmatched by other brands and backed with the LS commitment to provide exceptional customer service and satisfaction. You get a lot more for your money with the LS Tractor. Come to the Tractor Store in Richland to experience the LS difference. The Tractor Store in Richland.
Upgrade your yard this season with Hometown Hardware and Grasshopper. Hometown Hardware in Flora is now a proud Grasshopper mower dealer. Own a grasshopper, own Mow Day. Hometown Hardware also has a great selection of outdoor power equipment from trusted names like Steel and Milwaukee, as well as Hustler. And don't forget, Hometown Hardware is your garden soil, potting mix, fertilizer, and pine straw headquarters. Hometown Hardware on Highway 49 in Flora.
Tired of the brutal Mississippi sun beating down on your ride or home? Lakeland Glass and Tint in Flowood has you covered. They specialize in professional window tint for cars, homes, and businesses using premium expel film, plus top-tier paint protection film, ceramic coatings, and full vehicle wraps. Change your truck's color or turn it into a rolling billboard without an expensive paint job. Get a free quote today at LakelandGlassandTint.com. That's LakelandGlassandTint.com. Lakeland Glass and Tint, Central Mississippi's tint and wrap pros.
Dr. Mike Stonington here from Stonington Farm Grass-Fed Beef. Here in South Mississippi on Stonington Farm, our steers are grass-fed and grass-finished. No grain, no hormones, no antibiotics, no mRNA vaccines. Our grass-fed and grass-finished beef is straight from our farm to your table. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and at StoningtonFarm.com. That's StoningtonFarm.com with 2 N's. And we deliver every 4 weeks to the Jackson area. We are the grass-fed difference.
Sun coming up over New York City.
Welcome back to the Lindsey Beckham Show. We've got just about a minute left for the week. This week has flown by. Hope everybody is enjoying their new teachers and new classmates and the whole back to school scene. Of course, these Nolan Wells updates keep rolling in, and I will continue to keep you updated to the very best of my ability. I'm excited. Next week, we are going to have a new friend of mine stream in one day. She is over in North Carolina, but she is a Black former Democrat who has joined the Republican Party and just started a Moms for Liberty chapter in her community. And my goodness, the pushback she has gotten, the hate that she has gotten, and now she has spoken out on what she thinks about the way the Nolan Wells case is being handled and the hate that she is seeing the mainstream media place on his friends. I can't wait to get her opinion on that. Hope everybody has a fabulous weekend. I'll be back right here Monday, same time, same place. See you then. Bye.